Emmerdale's dangerous newcomer, Dr. Caitlin Todd, finally finds herself thrown off balance tonight, as Vanessa Woodfield begins questioning whether their romance is moving far too quickly. Viewers have watched Todd stay firmly in control for weeks, but Charity Dingle's repeated warnings may at last be starting to sink in. During Wednesday's episode, Charity makes another desperate attempt to convince Vanessa that Todd is not someone she should trust. At first, Vanessa brushes off the concerns, believing Charity is simply acting out because of their complicated past together. However, the seriousness in Charity's voice soon leaves Vanessa visibly unsettled. The turning point comes during a private chat inside the Woolpack toilets, where Charity urges Vanessa to realize that Todd is completely wrong for her. Charity explains that she truly wants Vanessa to be happy and find lasting love again, just not with Jacob Sugden's former boss, who made his life a misery. As Vanessa still struggles to take the warning seriously, Charity adds one final plea. Just do me one favor. Don't tell Caitlin we spoke about this. Seeing Charity so frightened by someone is unusual, and Vanessa quickly starts to notice how genuine her fear seems. Later, back in the pub, Todd suggests the idea of them going away together for a romantic weekend break. Clearly hesitant, Vanessa responds with an excuse, saying, "Things are hectic at the vet's right now. Maybe we should wait a couple of weeks instead." But when Todd keeps pushing the idea, Vanessa finally stands her ground. She points out that everything is happening too fast and suggests they slow things down before making big romantic plans together. The tense scenes arrive as Todd's deadline for Charity grows closer. Recently, she demanded £100,000 in exchange for keeping quiet about the secret that Jacob and Sarah Sugden are not baby Layla's biological parents. Todd previously assured Charity that she would leave the village once the money was handed over, insisting she had no plans to stay with Vanessa long-term. Still, with Todd's unpredictable behaviour, nobody can be certain what she'll do next. Dawn Fletcher's revenge mission against Joe Tate appears to collapse in Emmerdale after a shocking incident unexpectedly pulls her back towards him. In tonight's episode, emotions were running high at Home Farm as Dawn continued demanding more money from Joe. Unknown to him for weeks, Dawn had secretly been working alongside Moira Dingle, who remains determined to make Joe pay after he targeted her farm and helped send her to prison earlier this year. After overhearing Dawn pressuring Joe for cash once again, Graham Foster warned him that the situation needed to end before it spiraled further out of control. Although Joe already knew Dawn had been plotting against him and preparing to leave, he confidently told Graham that he had no intention of losing. However, his uneasy reaction suggested otherwise. The drama escalated when Graham later returned home and discovered Dawn unconscious at the bottom of the staircase. Instantly fearing the worst, he confronted Joe and demanded to know what had happened. At the hospital, Joe defended himself, insisting he would never hurt Dawn, especially while she was carrying his child. Despite his explanation, Graham remained deeply suspicious and questioned why Joe had kept quiet about knowing Dawn's secret scheme. Joe claimed he wanted Dawn to stay with him willingly, rather than through manipulation, insisting he still believed they could work things out. Fortunately, doctors later confirmed Dawn had simply fainted due to low iron levels and not because of any physical attack, as she showed no signs of bruising or injury. The frightening experience seemed to bring the couple closer together. While watching their baby during an ultrasound appointment, Joe became emotional after hearing that the child was healthy and developing well. Later at Home Farm, Joe prepared food for Dawn and opened up emotionally, admitting he couldn't imagine life without her and the children. He even confessed that he believed she was the first woman he had ever truly loved. As Joe encouraged Dawn to be honest with him and promised they could face anything together, she appeared overwhelmed with guilt over her betrayal. In the end, Dawn decided not to confess the full truth about her revenge plan. Instead, she admitted her love for Joe, telling him that her feelings had never changed. The pair then shared a passionate kiss, leaving it looking as though Dawn may have abandoned her plot entirely. But with Moira still desperate for revenge, the situation may be far from over. A heartbreaking mystery surrounding Kammy Hadiq finally begins to unravel in Emmerdale, as questions about his troubled past grow impossible to ignore. This week, Charity Dingle starts wondering just how little anyone truly knows about Kammy. Ever since arriving in the village, Kammy has managed to keep most details about his former life hidden from everyone around him. When he first appeared, he caused chaos by stealing quad bikes and dealing suspicious goods, quickly earning a reputation for bending the rules. Beyond that, however, very little has ever been revealed about where he came from or what he's been through. Now, that secrecy is starting to catch up with him. Actor Shebs Mia has teased that Kammy soon finds himself trapped in a situation with no clear escape, as pressure from those around him continues to build. Part of the suspicion comes after Aaron begins questioning whether Kammy could somehow be connected to the recent barn fires. While the theory seems unlikely at first, certain details start making Kammy appear increasingly suspicious. At the same time, Kammy's romance with Belle Dingle has recently been growing stronger, with the pair enjoying a much happier chapter together. Despite this, Belle can't shake the feeling that something about him doesn't quite add up. As Eid celebrations approach, Belle tries using the occasion to learn more about Kammy's family and background. Instead of opening up, he becomes visibly uncomfortable under her questions. Things grow even more awkward when Kammy suddenly rushes off after receiving a message from Aaron about another fire, leaving Belle concerned by his nervous behaviour. Meanwhile, Aaron and Robert Sugden remain desperate to uncover who has been targeting them through the mysterious fires. During a trip to the pub, the pair discuss the ongoing ordeal without realising someone is quietly watching them nearby. While talking, Aaron comments that Kammy has looked unusually exhausted lately, leading him to wonder if guilt could be keeping him awake at night. Later, Belle pushes things further by asking if she can finally meet Kammy's family. The question immediately hits a nerve, and Kammy reacts angrily, snapping that she should stay out of his personal life. The aggressive response deeply unsettles Belle, especially given her painful history with abusive behaviour. Speaking about Kammy's hidden story, Shebs Mia hinted that the character has endured significant hardship throughout his life, suggesting there may be far more pain behind his guarded personality than anyone realises. Why does Kammy refuse to open up to Belle about his past? According to actor Shebs Mia, it all comes down to pride and the emotional scars he has carried for years. Shebs explained that Kammy struggles to show vulnerability because the trauma he has experienced has taught him to hide any sign of weakness. Rather than letting people see his struggles, Kammy prefers to keep his guard firmly up. However, Belle Dingle is beginning to realise that something serious is being kept from her. Convinced there's more to Kammy's behaviour than he admits, she secretly takes his phone, intending to look through it for answers. Although guilt quickly gets the better of her and she stops herself, Belle later confides in Dawn that she feels terrible for almost betraying Kammy's trust. Even so, her instincts keep telling her that he is hiding something major. And she's absolutely right. Elsewhere, Kammy is later seen settling down inside a barn for the night, surrounded by a sleeping bag and his belongings. The heartbreaking revelation soon becomes clear. Despite his cheerful personality, Kammy is actually homeless. Emmerdale airs on ITV weeknights at 8 p.m. and is also available to stream on ITVX.